Salmon of knowledge is the salmon of knowledge, it's the salmon of knowledge, it's the salmon of knowledge, it's the salmon of knowledge, Edwin Salmon of Knowledge podcast. Hey, salmon skins, welcome to another episode of Edwin Salmon of Knowledge. I've attached a pop sheet to the end of my microphone, not a euphemism, and I'm going to try it out on some tongue twisters just to see if the pop sheet is working. Now, is there anything that people are recommending on the Google machine? The Google machine. Googling machine. So, let's see. Peter picked a pick of poppled peppers. Podrick was perplexed at the porpoise's poise in Poland. No, I'm just making these up. So I'm sorry if there's maybe too many pops there, but look, I'm just trying out this new pop sheet. Hopefully it works. It's a lovely day. It's been a sort of a teenaged weather system lately, which is also the name of one of my favorite 90s bands that doesn't exist anymore. Teenage Weather System had some classic albums. Stormfront, of course. Great Drying Out was their follow-up to that debut album. And then they disappeared, and we don't know where they went. I think a couple of them became weathermen and weatherwomen. Weather people. Listen to what the weather people say. Listen. So, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing okay. I'm not doing too bad. Recently, Cara had another scan, and it has confirmed that the baby is still there. He's not very good at hide and seek. Our little boy. Our little baby boy. Oh, how I love my boy. Even though he's not born, he is like a toy that doesn't need batteries. He's going to wear us out completely. I mean, I thought that I was used to being up early. I've gotten up early in the last couple of days, and you get stuff done. Like, it's not even noon yet. It's 11:30 as I'm recording this, and I'm looking out, and it's nice and bright out. And I want to get stuff done, and I have to make a few phone calls. I have to inquire about a few things. I kind of sound almost like, in my head, I'm thinking of Quentin Tarantino in Pulp Fiction. When they go over to his house, his character's name is Jimmy, because he's an Oscar-winning screenwriter. And he said, I'm going to call myself Jimmy. That's a nice, normal name, because my name is Quentin. And I don't know anyone called Quentin. Like there's San Quentin the prison, and that's it. Like, I've never even met or heard of anyone called Quentin before. But then again, I have an unusual name. If I was writing a character for myself in a script, I'd probably just call myself John Normalman. Mr. Normalman, you're free to go. A man with that name could never commit any kind of crime. And then I'd sneak away going, nobody ever suspects John Normalman. Dun, 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 dun. But I kind of, in my head, I'm thinking about a man cycling on a bike out the window who just scratched his arse. And he's not wearing a helmet on his head or his arse. But what I'm saying is he could scratch his arse and then he could lose control of the bike because he's cycling into the sun. The bike's very high up in the sky. But, I just reminded myself of, you want to make a phone call? You want to call some people? I suggest you do it. Get the fuck out of my house. You know, he just delivers everything in that, like, Bonnie gets home from the night shift. She's got, it's like, she gets home, and it's just, like, obviously, and I can't say that he needed a good director because he is a good director. He was directing himself. Maybe he should have taken himself to one side and had a quiet word with himself. Maybe John Normalman should have been there to sort things out in a reasonable way. John Normalman. John Normalman. John Normalman is the kind of man you marry and then cheat on because you just know exactly what to expect. It's 12 to 15 minutes of missionary and then John Normalman goes to sleep. So, my parents listen to this podcast. But look, I don't care. I'm just trying out my pod sheet and swallowing in between words, which sometimes I edit out and sometimes I don't. I wish I had the time to take all of the little gulps and slaps of saliva and when my tongue goes over my teeth like this and just cut them all together in one big saliva supercut. But I don't have time for that. I'm growing a baby. Well, I'm not growing a baby. Cara is doing all the growing, and our little baby boy he's not too bad. Oh, there's a funny thing that happens when, obviously Cara's going in for scans, and I can't go in because of the pandemic. And I'm hoping that in 3 months' time, when my child is born, I want to be in the room when that happens. I don't want to sleep overnight in a car. This comes to pass when my child is born. So I don't want to be waiting outside. You have to wait outside until the baby is just about to arrive and then you go in. But I want to be there for the whole thing. I want to be, beside Cara and, getting her water, or just reassuring her, or just, being on the receiving end of her wrath, because it is my fault. I mean, it's both of our faults, but when it comes to that period of the pregnancy, the end of it, the birthing period, if I am to be blamed 100% for it, I will take the blame. I will immediately take on my persona, my alter ego of John Normalman, and go, yes, that is perfectly reasonable, wife. Please lambast me more. I can take it because I am John Normalman. Now, the latest scan, which I have here in my hand, you can hear the scanning paper. So, I can make out, because sometimes in these scans, you can't really make out anything, but there's a lovely, you can see his heart in his chest, because it's a kind of a little dark spot, and see his little head and his little ear. And then in the last one, the consultant moved it around so much because she wanted to focus on his little penis. But every time there's a scan, she does this. She'll go in and she'll zoom in and enhance, like Harrison Ford in Blade Runner. Enhance 40%. What is that? A penis? A replicant penis? So she'll go in and she'll, measure his arms and his legs and his head and his stomach, just to make sure everything is the right size for whatever week it is that he's growing. It's is he growing at a normal rate? Or is he becoming you exceptional man? John Normalman's alter ego. At nighttime, he becomes you exceptional man. Or maybe that's his nemesis. No, what would John Normalman's nemesis be? Quentin, excellent man. No, you can be excellent and normal. What's the opposite of normal? Abnormal. I don't like abnormal as a word, though. There's probably a better word for it, and I think I'm stalling on whatever that word would be, because I don't want to say something that might offend someone, because you have to be careful with the words you use these days, you know. You just can't say normal anymore. John, neurotypical man. You know, you have to be aware that people, you know, have feelings and they want to be called by the right name. Call me by your correct name. But don't call me Armie Hammer, because, you know, I don't want to have my blood drank, allegedly. But more on that shortly. Or maybe not, I don't know. I was reading about Armie Hammer the other day in The Sun, and it was just a weird article. It was like, it went to great pains, and I don't know if you're aware of this. He's a 6'5" tall, very handsome, objectively so, actor who became famous in The Social Network, playing the Winklevoss twins, or Winklevoss? Das Winklevoss twins, two German men who said, we had the idea for a social network where people could come on and they could post pictures of their lederhosen and their sausages and when they're dancing in the Krankenhaus and the discotheque. And people would say, oh, das is good. Das is real good. And he stole it from us. Mr. Zuckerberg. No, he was American in that, but he played twin brothers, and then he was in The Lone Ranger, Not Alone, with Johnny Depp playing a Native American, which is, you know, pretty. I mean, you know, there's Native Americans, or First Nation people as they're called now, because, you know, they were like, you named it America. So he was sending Instagram messages to someone and saying, I will, you know, I want to cut off your toe and keep it in my pocket. And basically a lot of it kind of sounded like, I mean, fair enough. People were going crazy because it's like, he's a cannibal and he's a vampire. And he was talking about, I 100% drink blood and all this kind of stuff, you know, like a really... Because if someone says, I drink blood, my first question is always, well, what's the percentage there of certainty on that? Are we talking like 50%, 60%, 100%? 100%, Mr. Hammer. Put the hammer down. And that seems to be what people are focusing on. But like other messages, he was sending... women, he was talking about, you know, you eat when I say you eat and you shit when I say you shit and all this kind of stuff. Controlling behavior. Like the sort of thing you see from like Marilyn Manson, who has been accused of controlling and sometimes violent behavior. And it's abusive behavior, you know, and I think that's more realistic than him being a vampire or a cannibal. Not saying that he can't be a vampire or a cannibal. And if it's consenting, if someone consents to having their toes taken off and or eaten, and their blood drank, and they're like, okay, yeah, sure, I've got lots of blood. I've got an overabundance of blood. Like, I don't want Armie Hammer coming near Cara because she is a pregnant woman, and pregnant women have 50% more blood. So they are just, it's like catnip for vampires, especially those cat vampires, which you really have to look out for because they're sly and they're very good at climbing trees. No, so I don't know. I don't know if Armie Hammer is a vampire. Probably not, because, they don't exist. Or do they? I don't think they do. But it seems that Armie Hammer is on the back foot. He's pulled out of a few projects. Now, he doesn't seem to me to be I mean, he's a good actor. He's good in Call Me by Your Name. That's a terrific film. Maybe his best film, apart from The Social Network, which is really good. One of those movies that feels like it hasn't been directed by anybody, which is a great compliment to pay any director, I guess. This looks like you didn't do any work. Thank you very much, said Mr. Fincher. Now, I was thinking, like, who's decent? I mean, Tom Hanks, America's Dad, who hilariously some, conspiracy theorists have claimed that he's involved in Pizzagate and Pedophile Island, and his completely sound and nice seeming persona is a front for all that. Now, Armie Hammer I've never really seen him interviewed. He seems fine. Now, he was being interviewed by someone, and he kind of he didn't explain the whole vampire blood drinking, toe cutting, put it in my pocket, save it for later. Don't eat toes before your dinner or you'll spoil your dinner, Armie. And he said he was joking, but he said he was just kind of showing how horrible, like doing a version of this is what crazy people on the internet sound like. But he's like, people didn't get the joke. But man, those messages, you had no emojis in there. There was no like winky emoji. Like if I sent a message to Cara, it was like, hey, I was reading that pregnant women have 50% more blood, so I want to drink a couple of pints of your blood later on. Make it happen. I'd put like a smiley face in there or a winky to make her know that, I'm not really a vampire. And like there were no responses in these Instagrams. Now I'm not saying people can't fake this stuff. It's fake news. But it's just a weird story. And, and he's kind of, he's stepped back from some projects and he's going through a divorce and all that sort of stuff. And I just feel it feels weird talking about someone who I don't know, who I just have seen in movies. And the Sun article, which obviously is a tabloid, had two things that were kind of interesting to me. One is the source. They always have in these articles a source close to Armie said, in this case it was a source close to his wife, said that she's upset, quote, and she's not sure if he's a vampire or whatever. And that's always like just bullshit. That's just someone who maybe worked in the same office as her one time or something like that. They don't name their sources. They just say a source close to, which is just gossip mongering, Obviously his estranged wife, soon to be ex-wife, is not like telling people who would tell newspapers. And they also mentioned that Armie's Armie, you and whose Armie Hammer, he comes from like a really rich family. Like his parents are like oil barons or something, and they wear big 10-gallon hats, and they shot JR, and they go to the oil barons ball every year, and they wear new clothes at it. They don't wear like last year's tuxedo. They get this year's tuxedos, and even though they look exactly the same, but they just want to spend that little bit extra money just to show people how much money they have. So yeah, his family are like oil rich people, and his like grandfather had some kind of fraudy, dodgy dealings and gave money to Richard Nixon's campaign or something like that, because that makes him seem like a bad man, because everyone hates Richard Nixon, even though he opened up relations with the Chinese. But now look at what's happening. That ex-president, do you know the one I mean? That recent ex-president who called this pandemic flu, the China flu, which is kind of as bad or on a par with people calling the Spanish influenza, because it wasn't. So anyway, what was I talking about initially? Let's stop talking about Armie Hammer and celebrity stuff, because here's Chris Evans. He seems like a lovely man, and there's nothing wrong with him. Now, having said that, something's going to come out now. He's going to be like, oh, guess what Chris Evans has done? He's a werewolf. Oh, no. What is with these seemingly ordinary, nice Hollywood stars becoming mythical horror creatures? Next thing you're going to tell me Morgan Freeman is the creature from the Black Lagoon. I don't know. I couldn't think of any mythical creatures. A mummy? Who'd be a mummy? Tom Cruise. He's been mummified. Timothy Cruise, which is his real name. So, what was I saying? Let's get back on track. Man, I'm on the tracks, on the train, heading towards a point, and then I just get, distracted by, oh, look over there, there's a possible Hollywood vampire. The scan. So Cara went in for the scan, and everything's fine. She gets to see him kind of wriggling around in real time. I just get like terrible photographs. I feel like the editor of a paparazzi comes in, gives me these pictures, and I'm like, I can't publish these. What's this supposed to be? A baby? I can't even make out its penis. But in the last picture, the consultant like moves it around, and it's like, oh, there, and like zooms in and goes, there's his little boy penis. There's his little flesh wand, which is what some people call it. I don't call it a flesh wand. I think I read that in some Harry Potter erotic fan fiction online. But when they were in their final year, no, they were all consenting and of age. No, it was the professors. It was in the teachers' lounge in Hogwarts, and they were all, hanging around, and Snape was, what's underneath your robe? Show me your flesh wand. Erectus totalis. Doon, 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 doon. That's kind of like the music. Thank you, Johnny Williams. So, listen, she zoomed in on his penis, and Cara was like, she does this every time, but she never actually uses the word penis. She'd say, there's his little bit. There's his thing there. Now there you can see his old man, soon to be a man bit. There's his thingy. Which is kind of funny to me because, like you can just say penis. You don't have to say dong or schlong or whatever your preferred nickname is. The little Jolly Roger. Whatever you want to say. You just say penis. It's a medical term. I don't understand why she's being so coy about the whole thing. And also, it begs the question when she has like a girl baby on the scanner. Does she like zoom in on and go, there's her little foo-foo, her little hairy triangle. There's her little special place. Her little girl cave. I don't know. I'm just making these up off the top of my head. Listen, this is potentially my last ever episode. I'm going to be cancelled. So, guys, listen. Please don't cancel me. I'm a father-to-be. So, we're going to take a little break. Thanks for sticking around. After the break, we're going to have a little mindfulness because I know things are tough right now. Things are tough all over. And I know that this lockdown is I mean, it's all the one thing, right? It's one big lockdown. These kind of lockdown 1, 2, 3. It's like, it's not like movie sequels. Oh, I'm getting a message from Al Pacino. Don't do an impression of me. Oh, I was just going to do an impression of you. No, it's like The Godfather 3. It's not like, it's really bad. The second lockdown was good crack. First one was exciting because it was brand new and you didn't know what to expect. More like the Matrix sequels, I suppose. The first Matrix came along, surprised you, like the first lockdown, and you're going, oh, what's going on here? And then the lockdown 2 and 3 were like back to back and just kind of overcomplicated things. It's just more of the same, but it just went on and dragged on, and the effects weren't as good. And, they were talking about the digital doubles being perfect, and you couldn't notice the difference between them and real human beings. Well, I could notice the difference. And now at this stage, it's just become, But for me, I'm thinking, look, this is going to last until probably the end of the year in some way, shape or form. I'm just hoping that by the summer, when my child is born, I can move around and go visit my parents in Offaly and my brother and his wife and kids in Galway, and that my younger brother can come over from Germany, or we can go over there or something. And I've got stuff to be doing. I'm studying. I'm writing a book. A couple of weeks I'll be learning how to drive a car. I mean, hopefully that's gonna be hilarious, but not in a crashing into a wall type way. But I'll be able to tell you some stories. That's what it's all about. So I hope you're all doing okay. I know this is getting frustrating, and if you live in Ireland, it's even more frustrating because it doesn't seem like no bloody government knows what it's doing. But has it ever seemed like the government knows what it's doing or has known what it's doing? I don't think so. So listen, park your anger. I know there's lots of people angry, and I know, if you want to get angry and rant about it, there's means and ways. It won't solve anything, but you can go on social media and angrily tap your keyboard and talk about how this particular party who's in power are terrible, so we need to get a new party in power, because that's the sort of thing that has always worked. When one party is not doing its job properly and dropping the ball on numerous occasions and in numerous ways in various aspects of societal life, be it education or healthcare or whatever, then you just get new guys in and they fix it all. That's exactly what's happening in America right now. Well, I mean, look, it is a bit better. And in fairness, we're not as bad as, we don't have a former game show host as our leader. Maybe we should. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Marty Whelan. Could Marty Whelan be the Taoiseach? Maybe. He's got the gravitas. He's got the mustache. And, he could distract us by spinning a wheel with a little ping pong ball. And it'll land on, wherever it lands, it'll land on healthcare. And he'll go, right, let's sort out healthcare. And then the camera shifts over to another part of the studio. And he has his cabinet and they just live stream it, where they work it out over, however long it takes. I mean, we're all stuck at home watching various things. I've been watching WandaVision. I'm enjoying it, but it's one of those things where, and I know some people hate it completely. And look, I know we said we're going for a break, and we will. I'm going to keep on talking. I've got 1 minute until we hit like 30 minutes, and then that seems like a natural break. I'm not going to talk too much about WandaVision because there's been so much said about it and written about it, and there's podcasts about it. And I know some people don't want to watch it because it's like this mystery box thing where, like, breadcrumbs are being dropped, and when you're eating those breadcrumbs, you want to eventually get to a big loaf of bread at the end of it. And I'm enjoying it, but it's one of those things where it's not one of the best shows I've ever seen, because it's more about, like other shows, like things happen to characters and the characters react, and it's about how the characters are dealing with the situation, whereas this one is more about the situation and not about the characters. More about what's going on than who it's going on to. Is that even a sentence? I don't know. Anyway, guys, we're going to take a little break and we'll be back after this with a very special mindfulness event. Okay, guys, welcome back. So, a while ago, someone left a comment. I don't know who left the comment. If you recognize what I'm talking about and you say, hey, that was me. I left a comment. Son of a bitch, forgot. I just haven't had the time to go check. I think it was on Instagram or maybe it was on Twitter. But someone left a comment saying, it was like a review of the show or something, saying, great show, wonderful stuff. I'd love to hear Ed do like a mindfulness meditation relaxation thing. So I wrote one, and let me just get these squeaky headphones out of the way, put them over there. So guys, here is a relaxation. I don't know how long it's going to go for. I'm just going to read it out in a sort of calm, regular voice. I'll make lots of noise beforehand. I'll open up my bottle so you can get some bottle drinking ASMR. I'll do that like, oh, someone's ringing me. Hang on a second till I pause this. You want it. You need it. I have it. That's knowledge. What is it? I don't know. I like the knowledge and I need to find it. You got it. You have it. Where is it? There is it. I have it. You need it. The knowledge can be yours if you want it. Sorry guys, I had to take that phone call there. It was my brother Julian, long-time listener, first-time caller. As in, it's the first time he's called in while I've been actually recording the episode. So thanks for that call, Julian. That was concerning cars and the type of car that we will be buying, and I will be learning how to drive. I don't know anything about cars. All I care about is fuel efficiency and safety. Not in that order. They're on an equal tier. Both of those things are vitally important, because I'll have my bouncing baby boy, hopefully not bouncing round the car, 'cause that's dangerous. You'll have to put a helmet on that baby to make sure his skull is nice and safe and sound. So, I mean, all I know is whatever we're going to get, I'm going to have to learn how to drive it and not crash it into a big wall. But of course, that's not what I plan on doing with the car. So guys, are you ready for my relaxation meditation script? Let's get real close to the microphone so I can talk in a kind of a whisper, but not really. It's more a measured tone. Let's get to those baritones. We don't want to get higher tones. I hope my battery lasts a long time. Not a long time, a long time, which is the lifespan of tongs. That tong. Absolute banger. Maybe I'll talk about the thong song later on, and how when that came out, I must have heard it a million times. So anyway, listen. Here comes the relaxation. Get ready. Strap yourselves in. We're going to have some clearing of throats beforehand. Always vitally important. And I'm obviously you're going to hear some nice relaxing music over this whole thing. So here we go, guys. Here we go. I've called this Relax, all caps, with an exclamation mark. So fucking relax, everyone. Relax, aka don't panic. And there's another P. Pa 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 pa. I'll just take a little sup of my coffee, which I got in the interim. Which is in the interim is not a phrase that anyone uses in the real life. Some coffee ASMR. So here we go. Ready? Here we go. Begin by getting into a comfortable position, resting in a chair. Make sure it has enough cushions on it. Perhaps there are too many cushions on the chair. Remove some of the cushions. That's better. Relax into the cushionless chair. Maybe now that you're in the chair, you realize it's not that comfortable at all without the cushions. Why did you even buy this chair in the first place if it needed cushions to make it somewhat comfortable? It seems like you got ripped off. You'd be much better off lying down on a couch or bed, but you're in the chair now and you may as well deal with it. Close your eyes and settle in. Are your eyes closed? No peeking now. You forget about the much more comfortable furnishings around your house that may have been much more serviceable for this purpose than the chair. And you take 3 deep breaths. In through the big mouth hole and out through the smaller nose holes. As you are breathing in and out of your holes, you can begin to allow relaxation and comfort to flow through you, however that feels to you. It could be a warm, buzzing sensation, like a massager run on batteries that is not sexual but merely for relaxing. The relaxation could also be a sound. It could sound like Enya or Brian Eno. Their musical compositions, I mean, not their speaking voices. Unless, of course, you find their speaking voices relaxing. In which case, picture that in your mind's eye, except hear it there, in your mind's ear. Starting from your eyelids that cover your eye holes in your regular outside eyes, allow relaxation to flow up over your forehead, like your head is being submerged in relaxing water, but not the kind of water that drowns you, so don't panic, you're not going to drown. This water is merely metaphorical water and can't harm you or even get you wet. This relaxing metaphorical water can flow up now, over the top of your head, spreading through all of your scalp and down the back of your neck like warm cream or a non-venomous snake, flowing down into the muscles at the back of your neck. All those muscles there are just beginning to relax in their own way, even though there's a snake there that you know is not venomous, but still has fangs. But don't worry, it's probably not going to bite you. But if it did, you wouldn't die. Just bleed a little. So don't worry. Relax. And now, as you allow comfort and relaxation to flow down and through you, down from your eyelids that cover your eye holes, down through your face, across your mouth hole. Relaxation trickling down, rather like rain on a window pane or money in a capitalist economy, slowly flowing down like non-poisonous venom in your bloodstream. Relaxation flowing down your cheeks like happy tears that you are not ashamed of, the kind of tears you cry when a child is born or a sports team you have an emotional investment in, even though you're not from the geographical location that wins a cup made of the shiniest silver. Now you feel yourself relaxing your jaw, so you are not clenching your teeth together like some mad yoke on drugs at a festival who took one pill a while ago, but you're not feeling anything, so you take another one. And then 30 minutes later, both kick in like a mule. A drug mule, but not that type. You haven't swallowed anything. It's just a normal, non-ecstasy feeling. All of the muscles now that are contained in your head, your face and your neck are all now relaxed. And it may now appear that your head feels a little heavier than normal as it has become relaxed. And if you wish, you can allow it to move into its most comfortable position to one side or the other, or to be supported even more by the back of the chair or the bed or the bag of clothes or whatever it is you are resting against. But don't worry, your head will remain attached to your spine. And you can now allow the same feeling of relaxation and comfort to begin to spread and flow out across your shoulders and down into your arms, flowing its path in your mind's eye, flowing all the way down through all of the muscles at the top of your arms, across your elbows, down through the lower part of your arms where they meet your hands. Wrists is what they are called. Feel it in your wrists, even into your fingers, right to the tips of your fingers. You can almost feel the relaxation flowing out of your fingertips and dripping down, collecting in a big relaxation pool on the floor. Who's going to clean up that pool? Not you, so don't worry about it. Just relax. You can walk away from that pool and never think of it again. You can allow that relaxed feeling and comfort to continue to flow down through your body, down from the back of your neck through all the muscles in your back. You can allow it because you have consented to the feeling. It's a welcome feeling that is allowed in your body because you have allowed it. Well done, you. Now, feel it flowing all the way down like a stream, a steady stream of relaxation. Through these muscles on either side of the spine, this relaxation is flowing down all the way to the base of the back, the small of the back, collecting in that little curved part and overflowing down between your buttock cheeks. It tickles a little, but not enough to make you tense or anything. And all of these muscles begin to relax, and then your body can sink a little more into the comfort of the chair or pile of clothes or beanbag or whatever it is that you're relaxing on, and going down from the front of the neck, allowing that relaxation to flow down through all of the muscles in and around your chest, so that you are only using the muscles you need to breathe easily and comfortably. Only those muscles you need to use, and none of the other muscles. You don't have to worry about lifting weights or even a cup of tea. All those muscles are useless to you right now. You don't need to use anything, not even your nipples. You don't need your nipples to breathe. If you're a man, they really serve no functional purpose except maybe to just indicate where your chest is. Down through all the muscles around the waist, you feel everything relax. It feels like you are completely unrestricted from any belts or tight-fitting stonewashed jeans or basic pants of any sort. It feels like you're not even wearing sweatpants, which although comfortable would smell of sweat. So that's a good thing that you're not wearing those. It feels like you have nothing on your legs at all, but nobody's around you, so you don't have to feel embarrassed. You now feel your tummy, your abdomen, and all those long interior intestines that remind you of cartoon sausages beginning to relax. And you can now gradually become aware of the deeper state of comfort you are falling into. Are you aware of it? You should be. Allowing that same relaxation that you're now aware of to flow down into your legs, flowing all the way down through your thighs, through the muscles at the front, behind your knees in that vulnerable spot that people would poke at in school and make your knees go weak, but not in a Mills and Boone type way. All of those muscles gradually begin to feel looser, more relaxed, down across your knees, into your calf muscles, flowing all the way down into your feet, right to the ends of your toes, so that even the tiniest muscles are beginning to relax. Those teeny, tiny toe muscles that you never even knew existed. Letting go of any tension now, and your feet can start to feel as though you have been wearing a pair of tight shoes that you have just taken off because they are just too tight. You really should have gotten a size bigger than the recommended size, but the man in the shop really recommended the size that you didn't want, and you went with it. because you figured he's an expert, and now you're regretting it. But those tight, hot shoes are off your feet, and your feet can spread out a little. And as you rest, your feet feel cooler. You weren't wearing socks either. Why weren't you wearing socks? It doesn't matter now. The shoes are off your sockless feet. Your feet, once hot and sweaty from being trapped tightly in those leather shoes, now free. They start to cool and dry. You spread out your toes, and as you just rest, relaxing more and more with each breath you take, all of the muscles letting go of any tension, any remaining tension draining down, down, and out through the soles of your feet that are drying, feeling more and more comfortable now. Every muscle which you don't need to use right now is relaxing. In your mind's eye, imagine walking down a path that leads to a beautiful beach. You feel the warm sand through your toes. As you arrive at this beach, use all your senses and notice the colours with your eye holes, the smells with your nose holes, the sounds wafting into your ear holes. You may be all alone at this beach, like a famous movie star who has rented it out for the day to keep the normal ugly people out, or there could be strangers, friends, or even animals who have joined you, splitting the cost of the beach rental as it would be much too expensive to pay on your own. Everything is exactly as you would like it to be. The animals even talk. Some of them are parrots, so that doesn't really count, but it's mainly like a Disney movie where the animals talk but don't sing, as you feel that's a step too far. This place is just perfect for you. It is comfortable and warm and safe. You can hear the ocean waves in your ear holes, smell the salt sea air in your nose holes, and feel the warmth of the sand against your toe holes. Find a spot on the beach where you can rest a while, perhaps sitting or lying down on a giant inflatable shell. Feel the support that is there for you today at this beach. All of the talking animals are singing your praises and remarking on your good looks and fine manners. Nothing can affect you. Nothing can disturb you. No matter what occurs in the outside world, you are safe and supported here. This beach is a peaceful and comfortable place. As you relax even more, begin to feel the warmth and comfort of the sun touching the skin of the body, your body. Not like a dead body that's beside you. It's just the right amount of warmth, and there may be a cool breeze on parts of your body that need some coolness today. Maybe your nose is slightly cold and needs that warmth. Feel the warmth of the sun on your cold nose, and the sand making contact with the rest of your body as well as your nose. The warmth from the pleasant sunshine begins to fill the center of your body with a very pleasant healing glow. It's all incredibly pleasant. You can begin to notice this place of comfort, of warmth, of safety, in the center of the body. And you can begin to feel the safety and warmth begin to spread like really soft butter on toast. The kind of butter that's so soft because you remembered to leave it out in a dish on the kitchen table instead of automatically putting it back in the fridge at night, so you don't end up with a hard lump of butter on a dish that you hack away. You get it on the knife, but when you spread it on the toast, it's too hard and it just breaks it all up, and you've got lumps of loose bits of toast with cold, hard butter on it. Oh, it's so frustrating, but that hasn't happened because you've got the nice, warm, pleasant, relaxing, buttery, soft, buttery toast. It's a pleasant sensation, and you can imagine this warmth spreading out from the core of your body, which is like butter on toast. spreading out throughout the torso, throughout the abdomen, your chest, throughout the lower, middle and upper back, all tiers of the back, spreading up the length of the spine, up into the neck and head, and down the length of the spine to the tailbone. Don't think about how we once had tails and lived in trees. That's too deep a thought for right now. You can think those things later. And you can even notice this warm, comfortable sensation spreading down the legs now, all the way down the legs into the feet. And you can even notice it spreading up over the shoulders and down your arms. You might even be surprised to notice that your hands are getting warmer and warmer, almost as if you were warming your hands by the sunlight or on top of an oven that was turned off half an hour ago and the hob is still warm. Or almost like you were holding a warm cup of coffee or tea, or a warm bowl of soup that was hot half an hour ago, too hot to touch, but now feels just right. You can imagine the heat entering into the tips of the fingers while this warm, healing, soothing sensation travels down the arms into the fingers. And you may say to yourself silently in your mind, my hands are getting warmer and warmer. Lovely warm hands. Easy, pleasant sensations. My hands are getting warmer and warmer. Just like I'm wearing invisible gloves. Maybe I am wearing invisible gloves. But then you stop thinking about that and you just enjoy the state of relaxation. Just take a moment to enjoy it. Feel your whole body at ease, feeling very, very relaxed. Just resting here. Resting on this giant inflatable shell. On this beach with singing Disney animals. And in a moment we will begin to travel back away from this beautiful, safe, comfortable beach with no uncomfortably middle-aged new German men around you to make you feel anxious or embarrassed about where to look. You obviously would look away, but that also makes you anxious because you don't want some 50-something German man to think you are some prude, but equally you don't want to seem too comfortable. And also he's objectively not that attractive, so you really don't want to look. And this in turn causes you to work extra hard at looking like you're not looking at this imaginary man with leathery skin you could make a designer handbag out of, because you're not. Because he's not there. There's no one there. It's just you. And you can imagine yourself in your mind's eye hole, leaving that beach with your mind's legs, beginning to walk to the path with your mind's feet, and leaving, knowing that you can return to this place whenever you like, that it is always there for you to come back to, and there will be no middle-aged nudists. You may begin to feel yourself travelling back to a state of wakefulness. Awake spells awake, don't you know? A-W-A-K-E. That's awake, spelled out loud. A is for always. Always be awake, in a state of wakefulness, unless you are asleep. W is for waking up, becoming more alert and aware, wriggling fingers and toes, and juicy, juicy worms. A is for a consciousness, as opposed to unconsciousness, as in becoming more aware, feeling more calm and centered, coming back even more fully now. K is for keep on waking up, getting as far away from that beach where it's nice and there are no bits of old men you don't want to see right now. And E, you can come back completely and open up your eyes, feeling refreshed and alert. So I guess E is for eyes. And now your eyes are open, you're in the room, you're feeling relaxed, refreshed, and ready to get on with your day. Guys, thank you so much for listening. That is the end of the meditation section of the podcast, and that is the end of this episode. If you've listened this far, you're amazing. If you have a couple of minutes to spare, which I'm sure you do, everyone does these days, it'll take 2 minutes to give me a review. If you can, that would be very, very helpful to me. Here's the review. I'll write it for you. Ed is great. Love having him in my ear holes. Very funny podcast. 5 stars. So if you could do that, that would help me immensely with the algorithms and all those things. If you wish to listen to the Cine Stream Club, that is a podcast that I have just recently started doing with my good friends Trevor Brown and Andrea Farrell. We will have special guests coming up. We have 2 episodes out. Mrs. Doubtfire is one of them, and the first one is Back to the Future. Next week it is Coming to America. I have another podcast called Reviewables. There's about 120 episodes of that online. I'm also featuring in Dream Gun Film Reads, which is an excellent podcast that I am part of the ensemble cast. And what else am I in? Oh yeah, Those Conspiracy Guys. There's a new episode of that out, all about Bob Marley, which is many, many hours of me talking with the wonderful Emmett Quinn and the wonderful Gordon Rochford. So if you're listening from Those Conspiracy Guys, hey guys, look behind you. Thanks very much. Appreciate it immensely. Be safe, guys. Be well, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.